The Haze Hour is sponsored by Janty, pioneers in e-cigs.
There now.
Yes.
Yes, blue notwithstanding. Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Good evening.
I'm Dave.
Keith.
No, I'm. Just Keith. Keith.
Well done.
Keith. Keith. Yes.
Very correct tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely, dear boy. Yes, absolutely. Ah, it's just nice to introduce yourself, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Because we've been having a nice little natter behind the scenes when nobody was watching other than the people with 720 and 480 and what have you.
Yes.
About all kinds of stuff. Sky. All sorts. All good stuff. All good stuff.
Yeah, RIC.
Alcoholics Anonymous, the
Yes.
Royal Automobile Club, yes, all of that. It's all been good. It's going to be a good show tonight. I'm quite enjoying it. I've put a snooze piece in for you.
All right.
In fact, we'll be starting with the snooze piece.
Well, we haven't discussed what's on. I don't know. I haven't a clue.
You haven't, have you?
No, not a clue.
We're going to look at a rebuildable that even you can manage.
Well, I'll believe that when I see it.
It's
yes.
true. But we've also had a request from a viewer and a friend, which happened just before we went live. And we're going to have a blast at that. And I'll tell you what it is. Sam Monroe knows, because it was Sam Monroe that asked. And we'll have a blast at that, but we'll have a blast after the titles. Now, I've managed to put Rachmaninoff's 9th on the titles for you tonight.
Did he write a 9th?
Damn. That was his unfinished symphony.
I just wish the viewers could see you when that's being played. You'd think you're having some sort of, fit.
I am fit.
No, fit.
Oh, you mean a seizure?
Yes, a seizure.
Seizure later.
Right.
No, if you like that kind of music, you like that kind of music. And I like that kind of music. I don't like Marmite, I don't like menthol, and I do like a bit of that.
Well, we've all got different tastes.
Indeed, we each have our cross to bear. Are you ready for this experiment anyway?
I am, yes.
We had.
Can't wait.
It came up. There you go. On Skype. It says, could you try something for me? It says, while inhaling, once in the mouth, don't take it down into your lungs, but blow it out your nostrils. He wants to see if others get the same effect as he got, and the hit literally knocked him back. That's what it says.
Right.
And the timestamp on that is 2039. Look, see, just up above me, just up there.
Yes.
It's 2039. That was when it came in tonight. So the idea is you suck it in, but you don't breathe it down. And then you blow it out your nose.
Right.
So if you're watching this live, give it a go. If you're watching on video on demand, give it a go. And give it a... Apparently this is supposed to... It doesn't give you throat hit, apparently. It's supposed to give you nose hit.
I thought you were going to say that, yes. Nose hit.
Nose hit. Are we ready?
Right.
On 3, 4. I breathed in. It's not easy to do, is it? Oh yeah, that got it. Just at the bottom of your nostril, like back a bit, above your sinuses.
Aye, a little bit, yes.
Try it again. It does as well. Nose hit as opposed to throat hit.
Does it tickle you a bit?
It does, it tickles. Well, that's that tickle that you're getting on the nose, that's the tickle I look for on my throat.
Right.
Getting your tonsticles tickled.
I never look for that.
Do you not? Hang on. I'll try it with something that's got some...
oh, yes.
Thrush is what it's called. Genesis atomizer. Well, it's a, yes, an NGP Genesis atomizer.
Go on then.
So... That's better than a tickle.
No. That's something new.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. See, I mean, I used to, for years and years, whether I was smoking my pipe, cigarettes, e-cigs, loads of folks will have seen there. The roundy thing.
Yes.
Where you're sucking in while you're blowing out, and then breathe in and then blow out while you're sucking in. And I've done that for donkey's ages. But patently, see, he's sent us off on a technical thing now, wasn't he? That must be the nicotine hitting your nose.
Yes.
I wouldn't do it with Bite Extra juice, though. That would hurt, I think. One for Mr. Kitson. Challenge for Mr. Kitson for Sunday. Paging Mr. Kitson, if you're watching, try it on Sunday with some Bite Extra. Just to see what... I'll tell you what, mind, it's clearing the tubes out.
I was just going to say, it's a bit like a Vic inhalant or something, isn't it?
Oh, that's getting too medicinal, that. We'll have none of that. We'll have none of that.
Yes, it's still there.
Well, yes. Actually, it's quite pleasant. So there you go, Sam. We've tried it. And I'm kind of hoping that people in chat have tried it. I can't say chat tonight. If they have, if anybody's been poorly bad in bed with a shawl on both feet and one sock waiting for the doctor to come and rub their chest with Vic because of it, blame Sam Munro, not me. I only did what he said. Because I only do what the voices in my wife's head tell me.
Yes.
Yes. I've got I take no responsibility for anything. Well, no, it's just Jill says I'm irresponsible.
An interesting experiment.
It is, isn't it?
Aye.
It's been a day of experiment and experimentation and things like that. And I've been quite enjoying my little bit self-experimenting.
So is it snooze time?
It might be. I'm not sure. I need to think about it. Yeah, it probably is. But you might enjoy it, you never know.
Oh, I might.
Because it's a new piece of kit, but it's a piece of kit that would suit you down to the ground.
Right.
And you might even get to try it.
Right, Owen.
Hang on a minute. No, it's all right. It won't fit in your shirt pocket, so it's okay. I'm safe. I'll play it, shall I?
Yes.
I'll deal with that. I hope it's the right one, because I cannot read from here. Hello. You catch me in experimental mode. As you can see, there's a oscilloscope being run, and what I'm doing, I'm playing with a couple of Ego C twists. Well, one's an Ego C twist, and the other one I think is just an Ego twist. And what I've been doing is looking at the waveforms that these things put out. It's all connected up onto the oscilloscope via the little adapter. I've been a little bit surprised. Pressing the button, you see what looks like a straight trace, and then all of a sudden, after a little while, we get, oh, that one just cut off. This is interesting because it's varying about the place. There you go. PWM, look. Do that one again. It's so interesting, so interesting. It's got me quite bemused, it has to be said. Now that confuses me, but let's try and look at it sensibly. Press the button, it rises, it drops a little, keeps dropping, and then we go pulse modulation, and then it dies off. This is just weird. And then off. Try again. It's not so much the figures that are making me think, it's what's actually happening. So we've got a flat voltage waveform which drops a little as it carries further on, and then it's dropping into PWM. Now that's with this silver one, which I must just check where it's actually meant to be from, and it's a little bit difficult to see, but it does say Ego C Twist on it. So let me try a different one and see whether they're both the same. Now I think these are both from the same manufacturer. So let's try and see what happens here. Flat, flat, completely flat. Now that's set to 3.2. So now I'm gonna, actually it wasn't, that was set to 5. So this here's 3.2. This is 3.2. And believe it or not, the VDC is where it ought to be. RMS is 3.28. If I turn it up as we go, oh, actually, yes, got that the wrong way around. That was 5. Here's 3.2, which is showing 2.4, 2.5. And as I turn it up, you'll see the waveform rises. This one's slightly different. That's at its lowest. Took a little while to settle. This is fresh off the charger. Right, let's turn it up to 4.0. Showing a max of 3.6 on here. And yet it's flat, right the way up to 5. And there we go. We get into pulse width modulation at its higher end. Now, I've got no idea what's causing that, but I just thought it was interesting. I was just sitting down checking this stuff out to see what was going on, and I just thought that was a little bit interesting. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I've been using this Ego Twist for a week or two, and I've just bought 2 more for my darling wife to use, and for me to use. I like them a lot. I think they're a damned good move into variable voltage, or in my case turn it up as high as it'll go and leave it there. But yes, I just wanted to have a look to see what the trace was like, and that's quite taken me aback, I must say. But yeah, I mean, lovely piece of kit. They're working really nicely. The 650 milliamp hour one is good. The control on it is good. It seems to work. It brings up 1 or 2 questions, because the figures that I'm seeing on the trace are really rather strange in terms of what it says on the dial, and yet I'm experiencing what it says on the dial, but the figures on the oscilloscope tell me something different. By this point, Keith's probably asleep, so we'd better go back to the studio. Now, did you follow any of that?
Completely and utterly dumbstruck.
Are you?
Yes.
I just think it's interesting because it illustrates something, right? You tried one of these last week, on the long Ego Twist, Ego C Twist, and there's one there set up with pretty much the same as what you were already using.
Right.
Right, and you can change the bottom to suit what you want it to do.
Yes.
Now I've got it at a point I like it.
Right.
But I can't see the numbers on it.
Right.
Right, so give it a drag and see what you think. And what do you make of that?
Well, it's producing well. What have you got in it?
The same juice as you.
Well,
It's just a slightly different
Right.
flavour, but it's the same juice that you use.
Right.
Just a different flavour.
Yeah. Very nice.
Right, now, you've got no idea what that's set at. Is
No.
it too hot for you, just right for you, or what?
Just right, I would have said.
Right, well, let's do the daft thing and stick yours on. Because this is, you know, I was saying last week, if it suits Keith,
Yes.
then it's a good thing.
Yes.
So that's the Vision Ego you've been using all week.
Yes.
With juice you've put in that you've been using on a standard Tornado stroke Ego battery. But that, I haven't changed anything on that now. And is that better than it was on your own?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Right. That is set, I think, it is. It's set to number 4 on that Ego C Twist.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So one can only assume that it's given it a bit more than what you were getting off the Ego.
Yes.
But it doesn't actually matter what it's given that was a bit more than what you were getting off the Ego. It's just a case of turning the bottom of the unit until it's where you want it.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes. Right.
And that's kind of how that works. What intrigued me was that I had no clue. I'll just nick the battery back because I need to make sure it doesn't go next door.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Oh, no.
It was.
I'm full of faith, believe me. No, I mean, it up until I stuck it on the meter, I was a little bit bored last night. Well, I wasn't bored. I was waiting for last night's programme to render before I uploaded it.
Mm.
So I sat and started playing.
Right.
And I like to know the far end of the what caused it and what flavoured it and where it came from and everything else.
Yes.
I'm inquisitive, basically, is what I am. So I stuck it on the meter because I wanted to see roughly what difference twisting the bottom of this thing made.
Right.
And then, as I say, you saw what happened. It went into that pulse width modulation type thing where it's on, off, switched mode, if you like.
Yes.
But it was also noticeable that when first you hit the switch, the trace is starting here and then it's slowly dropping as it gets itself sorted out. I reckon there's some quite sophisticated electronics in these things.
Mm.
Because it does seem to be consistent in what it delivers. Which for 24 quid for the 650 milliamp one, that's its safer cigs. And I think 25 quid there or thereabouts for the longer one, the 1100, which frankly, if you stick, something reasonably large on the top, is just a touch Harry Potter Expelliarmus, but I don't care. And it just struck me that there was a certain consistency there, and I thought, I reckon Keith would be able to get away with that. Because all you've got to do is just twist the bottom.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
for the benefit of everybody watching, you will be able to see, because that's where the camera focuses. I mean, that's big to us, and I can see where it says Ego C Twist, but can I see the numbers? Oh, hang on, that's at 4, I think. Yes, it is. You've got to get it just at the right angle, but you can just twist it around to suit yourself. And if you've got, if you've bought a pack of 5 Vision Egos, say, and they're all at or you've got, you always buy the same resistance of insert for them.
God, they do take some.
Oh Lord, I've got no chance. Seriously, it's magnifying glass out time. It's definitely, there might be numbers on there, but I can't make hide and hair of them. I'm not young enough and visually acute enough.
So, I mean, what are the numbers on it? I can see 3.2.
There's a 4 there.
There's a 4.
And there's a 4.8, I think.
4.8.
Yeah. That's it. That's the numbers that's on there. But like I say, I mean, to be honest, you can just turn it while you're sucking it. and get it to the point you want, then leave
Right.
it there. But yes, I was a bit fascinated by that. I've got no idea what's going on, but I'm going to try and find out.
So what did you have that set on when I was using it?
It was on 4.
On
But here,
4.
tell you what to do. Here's an experiment for you. I'll knock it right off. It's just that bottom bit.
Right.
So there
So
it
it's
is.
off now,
Right. Well, it's
right.
not off, but it's down
Yes.
on the at its lowest at 3.2. So all you need to do is just twist that button till you find the point where you like it, and you can do that with the button pressed. Other way. You're left-handed, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. So it's kind of clockwise for more, anti-clockwise for less.
Right.
And
Yeah, you can see a significant difference there.
yes,
Right.
it's yes.
Now you see, I understood that without any sort of degree in science or physics or
It's knob turning.
electronics. It is.
It's knob
yeah,
turning,
yeah.
basic knob turning. If you can turn a knob, you can work an Ego twist. You don't need to remember menus or anything. You just turn the bottom until it does
And
what you want it
that's
to
the
do.
same thing.
Yes, same thing, only shiny and longer. That's an 1100 milliamp. This is a 650 milliamp.
Yeah, the numbers are no clearer. I wanted with the difference.
But you're going away on Saturday, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Yeah, to Spain, innit?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were going to take the lava tube with you, weren't you? Will you be taking an Ego charger with you?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's very generous. I didn't even ask for that.
No,
did I?
there you go. Take it to Spain and show it the error of its ways. If it comes back with a tan, there'll be hell on.
Right.
But that, I mean, honestly,
Thank you,
seriously,
right,
it'll give you the because I know if you're outdoors in Spain. Oh look, you're not bothered about throat hit, though, are you?
Yeah, but I think it does make a difference no matter where you're outdoors, doesn't it?
A little bit more chuck never did anybody any harm.
Right, I'll
Indeed. Having explored that, we'll take a
I'll
quick
report
break.
back on that.
Good man,
Yeah.
that's what we like to hear. Wait for a week,
Yes,
so they'll not see you next Thursday,
they won't. I'm
but they'll
afraid.
see you the Thursday after.
That week, my son's coming up from Lincoln.
You're going to be
so
away for a fortnight.
I might be.
I'll have no viewers.
I'm not clear on that.
I'll tell you
but,
what, we'll take a short break,
Right.
and while we're taking the break, I'll smack his head till he says he's only going to take a week off. Back in
Right.
2 minutes. Whoops.
The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. iVapor and iVapor Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. That's ivapor.co.uk and ivapor-elixir.co.uk. iVapor and ivapor-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty.
And we're back in the room. And do you know they've been chatting about this in chat?
Right.
We've got the best chat on the planet, we have.
Good.
Better than all the other online chats for podcasts.
Well, we must stimulate something then.
Well, I get stimulated every time we do this. But let's not go there.
No, well.
Jeff
you
Benyon says, fixed wattage. Well, I don't think it is fixed wattage, but he does say resistance dropping as it heats up, so less volts required, then drops below battery voltage, so has to PWM.
That's just what I was going to say.
Mark Jones, MG Jones 74, says it looks to be happening when the battery voltage drops so it can maintain the voltage. When the battery doesn't have the power to maintain the voltage, it seems to go into PWM to give you the voltage selected. So I think, yes, that, in other words, it can't hold a flat, say 4 volts, because the battery is a 3.6 volt battery.
Right.
Right, so there's not enough chuck in the little battery to keep it at 4 volts flat. So what it's doing is it's pulsing a higher voltage to give you the effective 4 volts. Either way, whatever it is it's doing, it works. And whatever number it says on the bottom, I don't think it matters as long as it works for you.
And this is something entirely new, is it?
No, they've been around a couple of months, a bit longer maybe. It's not.
Right.
It's not brand new.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But it's not donkey's ages old either. It's kind of a smaller form factor take on the lava tube, if you like, but without the display. You know, I like these. I think they're a good idea. And I think
yeah, I must say I'm taken with that.
You are you? Well, I might give you a test later on then.
Doing a test.
Oh, you'll see in a minute. You'll see in a minute. I was going to say something else as well. If any of you out there are on Facebook, you might have seen a bit of a palaver on there over the last day. Apparently, there's been somebody on there pretending to be Toby from up north, calling themselves iVapor. We don't like that. And it was gratifying to see a whole load of folks diving on there and letting these people know that iVapor was a well thought of, well respected and well established vendor, and that they should change their name. And I'm happy to report that the iVapor moniker has been disappeared off that particular Facebook page.
Right.
That makes me a very happy chappy, because I've got a lot of time for Toby. He's one of the pioneers, you know.
All right.
Yes, pioneers. He's been around since Pontius was an under-training pilot.
It's a long time.
It's a long, long time. It's Toby, the only e-cig vendor without a surname.
So, no one knows his surname.
Well, he does.
No. Go on.
And so do I.
Right.
But I'm not
you're
telling
privileged,
you.
are
I'm
you?
privileged. I'm underprivileged, overprivileged, all kinds of things.
Whatever. Yeah.
Shall we go into the next one?
I think so.
Do you like the idea of making your own atomizer?
No.
You're going to love this then. If you've been watching VT Talk or the Haze Hour or anything we've been doing for a while, you'll know that there are some doubts about how e-cigs are going to continue in the future. I think that any threat that there is to juice. That got confirmed really in yesterday's VT Talk when Mr. Daly did his resignation. And it's probably not actually going to affect hardware on the basis that hardware is, well, it's kind of torch bodies and bits of wire, and it's relatively easily sorted out. But there's been a great upsurge in the rebuildable atomizer and rebuildable device market. It's gone absolutely crackers. And there's all sorts of stuff flying about, one of which is the BIM, which is from vaporworld.co.uk. One of which I have here, as you can see, over my shoulder, in gold plated. Let me run you through it quite quickly. You can see what it is, but I'll take that out of the way because that doesn't come with it. What you have here is the gubbins, the working bit, if you like, and as you can probably make out, there are two set screws there, cross-headed set screws that grip onto your resistance wire wrapped around your coil, which then goes down the ends, pretty much as you see it there. It's difficult really to not understand what's going on. Make your coil, drop the legs down the two tubes, tighten the little screws in, and off you go. Now, the way I'm looking at it at the minute, that's lovely. In actual fact, it's tidgy and to give you some idea of how tidgy those screws are, a little wooden cocktail stick here. You can tell if I put that beside. This is my fixie job. So you do need good glasses or good eyesight. I just need to point that out. Next up is this little piece of kit here, which is, it's kind of a spacer. And of course, makes the whole thing modular. Now when you look at that in there, as you might be able to work out, there's quite a well. Because as you can see, the air hole is there. Just there you go, you can see the air hole in shot there now. Just on that white line, that little black dot is the air hole. But that's quite a way up, which means that you can drip a considerable amount of juice in there, and I shall do exactly that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 drops I've put in. And then of course the top with its drip tip, and you can use any 510 drip tip screws on. Now if you've got your air hole uppermost, that's not going to drip any juice anywhere, it's not going to leak anywhere. So let's plug it onto a device, might as well use the twist, and give it a go. And straight away I'm getting bags of flavour, I'm getting loads of vapour, and it's hitting quite hard. And I have this Ego C twist set at, well, let's set it at 4. If I can wind it round to 4, there we are. You can make out that's at 4 volts. Well, it's 4 on the dial, as we saw earlier on. I've got no idea what it's running at. Even the oscilloscope doesn't know, but never mind. Now I'm getting, having filled it up that far, I'm getting a little bit of, you may be able to see, a little bit of juiceage there. Clean that off, because I want to know whether or not this is going to leak or flood. If I may be permitted a little subjective, I do like the look. It is very nice. That little BIM logo on there is quite neat. You don't have to see it, and in actual fact when it's in use you probably won't see it. But I'm doing this to try and see whether I can make any juice fall out of it, and thus far not happening. The drop of juice that was on there earlier was probably as a result of me being messy, as you might say, but it doesn't look bad at all. Standard drip tip hole, as you'll see, takes a standard 510 like so. I suppose I could put the snake head on it, shall I? And take that 510 out and put the gold snake in. Why not? And there we have it. If you want a better look, that's the setup. So let's give it a try. It's not quite as voluminous as the Genesis, but flavourful. You may hear the whistle because the air hole is really rather small. It's about 0.8 of a mil, I think. But I think you can probably drip on this and keep it running for a long time. So there you have it. It's the BIM from vaporworld.co.uk. I shall be sticking the retail price in the page up when we go back to the studio, which I think we'll do right now. And indeed we have. Whoops. Train now coming in on platforms 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9's coming in sideways. Keith's been sitting sucking on that all the way through that piece.
You could say the kick on that is so strong that it's nearly knocking me over.
Is it?
For some, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
try that into the mouth and out the nose thing.
You're joking.
Coward.
No, yeah. It's very, very strong, for want of a better word.
Strong. While you were sitting sucking on that, that's the page. It's the Bulldog BIM. I should have given it its full name, but I've just been calling it the BIM. Big B, little I.
If you want throat hit on that, you certainly get it.
Oh, you do. All sorts of different finishes, and the gold one is $16.95. The chrome one is $15.95. And you get your Bulldog BIM atomizer with a drip tip. That's a bit blurry, is that, for some reason? I don't know why. It's not like it's a camera. There's something causing a chat. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, it's 16 quid's worth of rebuildable.
It's pretty reasonable.
It's extremely reasonable, and because you're wicking it with silica, you could wick it with mesh as well, I suppose. But because you're wicking it with silica, it's relatively simple to get into as a place to start. I mean, could you not fancy rebuilding and winding your own coils?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Really?
No. I leave that to those with the technical expertise.
It's not hard.
No, well, remember my analogy, you know, the simple task of smoking.
Thing is, I know you're not a tightwad, but
right.
one of those is £4.50.
Yes.
Consider the situation when you're on an old age pension. Oh wait, you are. Yeah, if money becomes an issue at any point, the wire for this is very cheap, you know. I'm sure you could coil a wick.
Well, you could give me detailed instructions, couldn't you?
And I will,
Yes.
right after the break. Back in 2 minutes.
The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty.
Yes.
Yes.
The oxygen cylinder's working now, is
Yes,
it?
I just went behind the curtain.
Oh, I should point out that Keith's been sucking on that at 3.2, the number, on the Ego
I was
Twist.
amazed at that. Try it on the highest setting.
Go on then.
Not me. No.
Stick it up to. I'll stick it up to 4 point. I don't care.
I'm still enjoying the oxygen.
Actually, that's much milder, Keith.
I'll take your word for it. No.
Does actually increase the flavour in this. Loads of flavour, Keith. Go on, be a devil. You know you want to. Chris, can you call 999 now?
You know, I hardly put it in my mouth.
Thank you.
I hardly put it in my mouth, and it just sort of started itself, if you know what I mean.
I've heard many ladies say that, yes. You could manage that, no bother, Keith. And so here's
I'll have a drink, I think.
here's how to make a wick. When this is finished. Right, no, seriously, honestly, watch, you'll see. Right, I'd better make a coil for the bin. So here we go. This could be a train wreck. It's happening in real time. There's my bin. Just move that slightly out of the way. And here are the bits I need. One is the wick, and I'm using some plaited wick. And two is my resistance wire. And I'm literally just going to wind this coil relatively tightly, trying to keep it on camera. Not easy to do. Done. That's as good as it's going to get. And there's the original coil that was in it. Spacing seems to be quite about right, so I ought to be able now to check, yeah, that's going to fit, and I just need to do a little bit of snippage. So I just need to trim off these legs, don't want them too long. And then slide the legs gently into the two holes, doing this at arm's length. Snug them down and then tighten the screws. And just to check, yep, that's solid. Now the reason I've left these ends quite as long as I have is because I want that to wrap down inside, so that it's going to pick up any drops from the bottom, and that's going to be aided by this here, the second stage if you like, screwing that in like so, and then as you'll be able to see, with my little toothpick, I can poke everything down, and what that means is when I then fill it up, it's going to actually soak that juice up nicely. Now if I stick it onto my device, you should see excellent juicage. So now I just need to put my top back on, and I have a really oh wow, that makes such a difference. Now, as you've probably gathered, I've got absolutely no idea what I've wound that to. I can measure it up and find out, I suppose, but in actual fact, because I'm using this Ego Twist, I can vary the voltage to do whatever it is I want to do. I'm going to turn it right way up. I'm going to knock that back, knock that back down. And that works very nicely. So there you go, making a coil. Not that hard. Keith could do it. You could?
Yes, I must say I followed that, but...
Be easy, wouldn't it?
Relatively easy, yes, yes.
I saw your eyes flitting over the table to see whether I'd got the makings. I haven't.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear that. I'm not all that dexterous.
When you come back.
When do I come back?
No, when you come back.
Right.
We'll
yes.
have you making coils.
Right, oh well. That might put me off coming down.
And then, you know, two or 3 weeks later, we can have you making...
You're joking. You're joking. Yes.
Well, I was only slightly.
Yes.
So
that did look fairly straightforward.
As I say, if you're thinking about getting into rebuildables, you're looking at 16 quid or less, aren't you?
Yes.
And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, not a fat lot of money. Although there is a debate to be had about that. Apparently, there is a debate already going on about that in certain quarters, and we may pick that up on VT Talk at some point in the not too distant future. But yes, if you're thinking about rebuildables, I mean, these BIMs are, I think they're called they're called all sorts of things. There's a whole load of them, but that's particularly liveried up, if you like, for Vapor World. They're a great idea, and I must admit the idea of putting the wires down those two little central screws, the two posts, much the easiest way of doing it, rather than wrapping it round and it's, you know.
Yes, yes.
It gets a bit like crotcheting. Crotcheting? Crochering. Yes, I've got to remember that. My grandma always used to put us right with that, because she made proggy mats and clippy mats, you know. And hooky mats.
Yes.
She used to sit there singing a song like she was in Hawaiian.
All right.
It's a proggy mat, a hooky mat, a clippy mat. It's a proggy mat, a hooky mat, a clippy mat. You know, that sort of thing. No?
No.
Right.
Right.
Well,
yes.
We'll call that a sting. Holidays, what you taking with you when you go to Spain? Based on last time you went, you took the Tidgies and they didn't last very well, did they?
They didn't. I'll be taking these, and you know what I'm like on names? The tube with the battery.
Lava tube.
Lava tube.
Was close.
I'll be taking that.
Taking the lava tube and the battery and a charger there for it.
And probably a pipe.
And a pipe as well.
Yeah.
And what devices will you be attaching to the top of your Egos and Ego C Twist that you've borrowed? Borrowed.
What?
Well, what atomizers?
Yes.
You stick with the Vision Ego, or?
I think so, yes.
So has that taken over from the iMist?
Yes.
Good Lord
Yes.
above.
Yes. So yeah, that's. I'll take some reserves.
Indeed. Well, I've got a couple of.
At least I won't have the intense heat. I wouldn't think.
No, in October I would
No.
think the intense heat would be fairly missing. But I still, you know, if you're going to be out and about and laid beside the pool, then yeah, the Ego C Twist and the lava tube will probably serve you well. I know not so much for intensifying the throat hit, but for some reason it does seem to kind of wimp out a bit.
Yeah.
Which I'll have
think
to
that-
say, it does make me wonder about the Americans, our American cousins, you know, because they all seem to use like 11 milligram and 8 milligram and stuff like that, and that's in
Right.
places like Texas and California and warm places where it's always warm, and they're
Right.
using not very high nicotine juices at all.
Oh right. I
And
didn't
indeed,
realise that.
indeed, they're new. They've just put together, or has been started, a new like e-juice body called the American E-Juice Manufacturers and Suppliers Trade Association.
Right.
Impossible to pronounce. And they've put up a limit of 32 milligrams on the juice, flavoured juice.
Because
I don't know
is it-
why.
Right. Is that, do you think, because the majority are using low nicotine juice?
Well, I
Or
don't
is
know. There's an awful lot of them do seem to like low nicotine juice, low concentrations of nicotine. I've got no idea why. No idea why
it's
at all.
interesting, that.
I think it's interesting. I'd love to find out why. But next Wednesday, while you're away,
Right.
we should be having Lou Ritter on the show on VT Talk.
Right.
And I'm going to ask him why 32, because it makes no sense to me.
So you're going to cram in all your sort of technical stuff, are you?
No, this
While
is
I'm
VT
away?
Talk, we just talk.
No, I meant on...
Oh, next week?
Yes, next
Oh, next week, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that by next week I will have, in no particular order, the Fogatti, the Cobra, and I know I've got a piece coming on the Hellfire,
Right.
all of which are unknown quantities to you, but they're all Genesis-style atomizers with mesh wicks and all sorts of other good things
that
going
sounds
forward.
good.
So that'll be quite technical, yes. It'll not be that beginner friendly. That particular section won't be.
Right.
But yes, so we're going to be looking at those next week, and yeah, I might do a little techie bit.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll miss that.
I'm sure. I love the
Oh,
way
I
you
can,
come.
I can catch up.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I'm sure
yes,
you will.
I'm sure I'll
I'm
catch
sure
up,
you will.
yes.
So Ego C Twist, Lava Tube, and lots of Vision Egos when you go away on holiday. And
Yeah.
how much juice are you taking?
A couple of bottles, probably, because I'll vary. Well, no.
100 mils.
I'll vary what I'm using. you
All
see.
right. What is the favourite at the minute, anyway?
I wouldn't say I had a favourite. It's either RY4 or RY5.
That seems fair. Good choices.
Mm.
Very good choices. I had better play in a little thing, because there are still people that don't know how they can watch us after the fact, you know.
All right.
But you know, don't you?
So what are you going to play in?
A little piece that tells people how they can watch us after the fact.
All right.
You've heard of YouTube, haven't you?
Yes.
Do you know what a podcast is?
I've heard of one, but that's my...
All explained.
That's my limit.
It's
All
coming
right.
up now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
If you can't watch our shows live, try some of these. Go to YouTube at youtube.com/user/vaportrailstv and you can subscribe there. All of our shows are uploaded as soon as possible after they've gone out live. Enjoy watching it on YouTube. Lots of people do. Alternatively, go to Google and type in podcast vaportrails.tv and iTunes. Click on the link and that will take you to a page that shows you the Vapor Trails TV podcast. View it in iTunes And when you get to iTunes, don't forget to click on subscribe free, and each of the shows will be downloaded to your hard drive as soon as they come out. Or you can use video on demand. Go to www.vaportrails.tv, click on vPlayer, pick the show you want to watch, in this case it's the Haze Hour, and then you can pick the episode that you want to watch from every one that we've ever done. They're all there. Under normal circumstances you'll watch it at 360p, which means everybody can see it. It'll go full screen, you can do whatever you want with it. So there you go, 3 ways that you can watch vaportrails.tv. Subscribe and enjoy. Thanks.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
Right.
And you can get it on smart TVs. And I keep getting wrong off John Bonwarn for not telling people how to do it on Android, if you know what Android is.
No.
Android devices. These are the Samsung type phones, the Galaxy Nexus and things like that.
Right.
And at the mini meet on Saturday, the knees up, John was showing me that he had it working on his Android. And as I said at that point in time, if I knew how to do it, I would tell people, but I don't. So if anybody would care to do a little video to show people how you can watch it on Android or on specific smart tellies, because again, I don't have access to all the smart tellies. If you could do us a little 30 or 45 second piece on how to do those, that would be great, because we would like to be able to tell people how they can stream it onto a big telly, much the same as Daz from e-cigs is doing tonight with his iPad and Apple TV.
Right.
Because you can do that.
Well, I'm lost off when it comes to...
it's all good stuff. It's
yes.
all good stuff. That's been, you know, for the first time in a long time, we're about on time. Are we on time, Chris?
You are on time, indeed.
So I need to start my credits away, do I?
You will need to start your credits away by the time I have stopped speaking.
Oh.
Start them now.
There you go. That's another Thursday gone.
Another Thursday gone,
People think, because you don't normally hear Kat's voice, they say, I type it into chat, and they don't realise that every time there's a bit of video playing or the adverts, she's there telling us what's going on and what we need to do. But you'll see everybody in a fortnight or 3 weeks.
Yes, yes.
And I'll see everybody next week. Tune in for Dave Kitson on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We'll see you all next week. Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
The Haze Hour was sponsored by Janty, pioneers in electronic cigarettes.